wish I could remember where I was when this began. Another drink, I start to think the bottle is my friend. My friend. My friend. Long black limousine, won't you drive me home? I've been drinking all damn day, and now I got to go. Now if you see that limousine driving down the street, take my advice, no, don't think twice, call the state police. Oh. Well, take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, 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 it won't be long. Oh, take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long.
It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. Across the web, on Fight Now TV, and on radio stations around the world. It's the only daily boxing talk radio show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. studio in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero. It's time for Talking Boxing with Billy C. Good morning, good day, good evening. Whenever you listen, I hope you're doing all right. Got a busy show scheduled for today, closing out the week. Oh, no, but wait, there's more, because tonight you got to tune it in right here, because we're doing a post-weigh-in show. Yeah, that's right. We're doing the post-Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, number 4 fight. We're doing a weigh-in show, post-weigh-in show, scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's New York time. And that's going to be airing on Fight Now TV. So hopefully you got that. If not, fear not. We're going to hook you. We're going to hook your ass up. That's right, because you'll be able to watch it live on BillyCBoxing.com. So make sure you mark that one down. If you're listening to the show or watching the show live, that's great. If you're listening to the podcast, which I hope, we certainly love the premium podcast subscribers. So make sure you mark it down, check it out. We're going to open up the phone lines. We got Tony Treem, who's going to be scale side. Yeah, he's going to give us an inside scoop on the weigh-in. He already gave me an inside scoop yesterday. He told me that Manny Pacquiao better look a lot better in his open workout than he did the other day, because he said he looked terrible. As a matter of fact, Tony was telling me that he'll be surprised if he doesn't get knocked out. I was like, what? So we'll hear what Tony's got to say today, a little later on, so make sure you tune it in. Hey, don't forget the show's being brought to you in part by Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service. If you're looking for a hot chick, if you're looking for a limo, and you're someplace in the United States or even Canada, you need to call my girl, Kat, 202-351-7496. That's 202-351-7496, Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service. Tell her Billy C. sent you. But just remember, don't be making any plays on her. She's my girl, all right? She'll tell you. She'll tell you. 202-351-7496. Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service. The show is also being brought to you in part by my friends over at Camp and Aaron Tomkovich. If you're looking for a lawyer, use the ones that keep my ass out of trouble. That is Camp and Aaron Tomkovich, 845-221-4099. Let Camp and Aaron Tomkovich knock out your legal problem. The show is also being brought to you in part by my friends. That's right, I got a couple, maybe 2 or 3, down at the Halftime Bar and Grill, Route 9, South Glens Falls. If you like cool people to hang with, if you like drink specials all the time, if you like fantastic food, and you like live entertainment on Friday and Saturday nights, well, then you will love the Halftime Bar and Grill. That's right. Give them a call, 518-792-4869. That's 518-792-4869. Or just swing by, man. And by the way, don't forget about the Billy C. Hot Sauce. That's right. You know, I got excuse me, I got requests again to sell this stuff. We may offer it word of mouth at first and see what we come up with. But if you like hot sauce, it is the best. And one guy has the secret recipe. It's not going to be the same as how we make it, but you could try. Craig knows what the recipe is, and he's making it at the Halftime Bar and Grill. So give him a call, 518-792-4869. And the show is also being brought to you in part by ringside.com. That's right. For all your boxing equipment needs, there's only one place to shop, and that's ringside.com. Make sure you mention Billy C. and demand the Billy C. discount, because you'll get it. And by the way, if you're a trainer or gym owner or someone that just likes to buy their boxing equipment in bulk, then you need to email me, Billy at TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com, and I'll even get you a bigger and better discount at ringside.com. Where's your only place to shop for boxing equipment? Ringside.com. So, anyway, coming up a little bit at the top of the hour, actually, we got Marty Mulcahey. That's right. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of fights, man. 15 fights on our Billy C. Challenge this week. And I told you, if you were waiting to join, you could have joined this weekend. 15 in just one weekend. The minimum was 20. So you would easily have been involved. We will be announcing the winner on Monday, who won November's challenge. And then the last one, we have actually 2 more winners. We have the month of December's winner to announce, and then the year-end winner, which is going to win one of the best prize packages we ever gave away, a collection of all kinds of stuff, T-shirts, books, those collector cards, posters. I got a ton of stuff that's going to go into the prize package. So make sure you do your best to get involved with that. I didn't get a chance to do emails today. I glanced through a couple of them, and basically I was, getting bashed for hating Floyd Mayweather. Listen, I'm just sick of the guy. I'm sick of the games. I even had one email that said, after all this stuff that Bob Arum pulled. Huh? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? You know what? Listen, it's not worth talking about, okay? All I can say is, let the guy fight. Let's see if he fights. That was the title, I guess, of the YouTube version. People didn't like it. Let's see if he fights. And I had emails that are saying, of course he's going to fight. Why wouldn't he fight? What? He's a guy that fought. He didn't. When was the last time he fought? It's just it's crazy. It's crazy, and all the special treatment irks the hell out of me. What special treatment? You ask? Well, how about the fact that he still holds 2 belts in 2 different weight classes? The WBC usually gives like 10 days to make a decision, unless it's a guy like Floyd who makes, hey, let's face it, he's good. He's good for the sport in terms of making money for other people and himself. But how's he good for the sport itself? I don't know. Listen. Until he fights, until he schedules a fight, it's all hearsay, and I don't care. Right now, the biggest fighter on the planet is fighting this weekend, Manny Pacquiao, the biggest little man on the planet. He's fighting this weekend, so we'll be talking about him. I got some other stuff that's pretty cool. Listen, one of our writers, Amy Green, has a column called The Green Room. And, she hasn't been as proficient in writing regularly as I would like. But she comes up with some stuff. Now, she's got an interesting short little piece up there in her column. It's also posted on the front page. But because the BillyCBoxing.com website changes news so rapidly, you may have to scroll down a little bit. But it's definitely at the top of her column, Amy Green's room. Now, it's an interesting little piece. It's a couple paragraphs long. What it's about is Chevelle Halbach. She did an interview with Chevelle Halbach. Now, I know you think you know everything about Chevelle Halbach because of me and how positively I think of Chevy. But what the interview is about is Chevelle Halbach's experience sparring with Hector Macho Camacho. That's right. I happen to have been there. I was down in Florida. They were training at the time a gym called the Fight Factory. It's in Tampa. And I came in and was hanging out with Chevy, and I got to see a friend of mine, Gato Figueroa. He was there, and Juan Urango was preparing for his fight against Ivan Alexander, and it was just chock full. I mean, the place was just bustling. And then all of a sudden, Hector Camacho walks in, and him and I started chatting a little bit, and one thing led to another, and he ended up sparring Chevelle. But I think you're going to find it interesting about what Chevelle was saying about the sparring and what Hector was thinking during the sparring, and to his surprise afterwards. So check it out if you get a minute. It's worth it. Drop me an email. Let me know what you think. Drop Amy an email. Let her know what you think. But Chevelle Halbach, just another example of why I feel she's so classy. One thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we get into the fight results from Friday Night Fights, which was on Thursday. Let me touch on that for a second. Before I get into the results, I'll wait. But could you imagine if Teddy Atlas and Paulie Malignaggi were calling a fight? I mean, could you imagine? That you couldn't even hear yourself think. It's one thing to when you're calling a fight. And listen, man, I've done blow by blow. I've done color commentating, but I'm nowhere near as experienced as Teddy or Joe Testa or any of those guys. But the truth of the matter is that I learned one thing, from boxing, doing the commentating and stuff. Nick Charles says it best, and I try to follow the rule. He says you got to call the action that's happening in front of you. If you want to refer to something else, that's fine. All Teddy does is talk during the broadcast. I mean, he doesn't shut up. After a while, don't you want to just watch the fight a little bit? Don't you want him to comment on what's going on? I mean, he's talking about what he's doing and all his special things and blah, 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 and I said to myself, man, could you imagine if Paulie Malignaggi, starts talking about himself with Teddy, and Paulie's an elite fighter and Teddy's telling you all about this, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, there's a fight going on.
If you're in upstate New York and you need a trucking company, then you need Roselli Enterprises. Roselli Enterprises is trucking at its finest. They have it all. Dump trucks, dump trailers, walk-in floors, flatbeds, flow boys, tankers, loaders, and a full line of roll-off containers for any job, big or small. Roselli Enterprises is also the source for all your sand, gravel, and topsoil needs. Visit them on the web at RoselliTrucking.com or call 315-433-5115. That's 315-433-5115 and tell them Billy C sent you.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
We've got a great matchup tonight. Fighting out of the left corner is the #1 ranked contender.
No, he is not.
I'm sorry, but who are you?
I am the IBO computer. I am programmed to provide only fair and unbiased boxing rankings. This fighter is the #15 ranked contender.
Fair and unbiased boxing rankings? That's a new concept.
Actually, it is not. The IBO has provided unbiased computerized rankings for many years.
Well, we've still got a great fight tonight, folks. In the left corner is the #15 ranked contender.
The IBO, the champion of integrity. Learn more at iboboxing.com.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you. I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning.
And we're back. You're listening to Twisted Sister's White Christmas. Love that stuff, man. No. Yeah, well, it's talking about with Billy C, of course, but it's Christmas time, so we get to throw in a couple of Christmas tunes. And this is a unique, when they say everybody's got their Christmas CD out, and everybody's got some kind of a Christmas CD. Twisted Sister. It's like, for all you youngins that don't even know who Twisted Sister is, it's, it's kind of crazy. Back in the 80s, man, all I could say is, what's her name? Michelle, I think it was Michelle Pfeiffer who played Tony Montana in Scarface when Al Pacino played Scarface. She was the one that said it best. She said, the 80s was the era of excess. It certainly was. But anyway, I was talking about Friday Night Fights on Thursday. And, before I get into the results, I couldn't help but notice, Teddy Atlas going on and on and on. I mean, I remembered why I muted the sound every time they came on. It seemed, I don't know about you, but it seemed like it was so long since the last time I listened to a broadcast or watched a broadcast of ESPN. It just seems like we've had so many other choices. The cable networks are always there, but it seems like they're on, putting on shows on a regular basis. It's almost like every week we get to tune into something else. And ESPN, personally, I think drops the ball when it comes to professional boxing. I mean, it's on the back burner. I mean, they just don't care about it. Here's a network that, specializes in nothing but sports. And, you gotta have a navigation system, to find the boxing section on their website, so, I think it's a shame, and maybe it's even better for us because now, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on the show. You got network television. CBS is going to be broadcasting some fights. NBC is already doing it again. You got the two cable networks. Then, of course, you got Fight Now, and then you got those other channels that are trying to get into the game. So, I like I said earlier, there's a resurgence going on in boxing, and whether you know it or not, it's there. So. The one other thing is, listen, if you guys ever want to, understand what my hang-up is with Dan Raphael, all you got to do is watch his little piece that he did on Thursday night, on Friday Night Fights on Thursday night. And if you don't think he's a pompous guy who thinks his you-know-what doesn't stink, then I don't know what else to say. I mean, as a writer, he's a good writer, but as far as boxing goes, come on, man. Come on. But anyway, all right, the main event, I was wrong. I picked Ji-Hoon Kim to beat Raimundo Beltran on Friday Night Fights on Thursday. But it didn't happen that way. Raimundo Beltran won a decision. He improved to 27 wins, 6 losses, 17 of his W's coming by knockout, and he keeps his NABF lightweight belt. It was an exciting fight, I thought. The scores 98-92 twice, and one judge had it at 97-94. Ji-Hoon Kim drops to 24 wins, 8 losses, 18 by knockout. Here's the thing. I thought that Kim would come out a little more. The guy has no defense. He has no defense. Zilch. They did make a comment that I thought was kind of funny. They said something along the lines, he gets mad if you miss him with a shot or something like that. What is it with Sketty? I mean, what is it with Teddy Atlas and scoring fights? I mean, I've said many times, Teddy doesn't need a scorecard and a pencil. He needs a coloring book and a crayon, because this man doesn't have a clue. Did you catch? Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm about to look like an idiot, all right? I already look like an idiot, but, maybe I'm going to sound like an idiot right now. But maybe I'm wrong. And if I had the balls, I'd probably wake up my friend Harold Letterman right now. But I know he's out in Vegas, so, he's probably deep in sleep right now. But, too bad Joe Cortez can't speak. Well, that's right. He's a ref. He's not a judge. But how about the decision Teddy Atlas makes on that first round in the Beltran-Kim fight, where he decides to score it? He says, I've decided to score that round 10-9. Listen, here's how it works, I think. All right, I'm 99% sure. All right, a 10-point must system. Let's go over that one more time, boys and girls. A 10-point must system means you must score 10 points for the winner, and then the loser gets 9. Okay. However, if there's a point deduction or if there's a knockdown or something like that, they get subtracted after you pick the winner of the round. So, in other words, if I'm going to pick Beltran to win that round, like Teddy Atlas did, the first thing you do is you write down Beltran. You write 10 on your scorecard. He won the round. Kim, 9. Okay? Now, you say, oh, wait a minute. You have Beltran got knocked down once. So you subtract 1 point. A knockdown is worth a point. So you minus 1. So 10 minus 1. I should do this time. Minus 1 is 9. Okay? So it becomes 9. Kim, 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay? 8. It becomes a 9-8 round is how you score it. That's what I think. Okay? You can't. Teddy Atlas says, I know I'm going to go against the grain here, but I scored that round 10-9 in favor of Beltran. So, in other words, you don't give any credit for the knockdown for Kim. I mean, fine. You want to give Beltran the round, that's cool. All right, but what about the knockdown? I mean, listen, if it was a beatdown, in other words, if it was Beltran beating the snot out of Kim for 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and then suffers a flash knockdown, you still got to give credit for the knockdown. That round wasn't a beatdown round. It was somewhat close. I am not going to argue with who got the win of the round. I didn't personally score it. I'm not going to argue with the fact that he felt that Beltran won that round. I don't have an issue with that at all. What I have an issue with is how the man scores. I mean, listen, a 10-point must system, unless they change it and it's a Teddy Atlas system of picking numbers out of his butt, I don't know. But the way it should work, as far as I know, is a 10-point must system is 10 for the winner, 9 for the loser. Now deduct your points. You had a knockdown, -1. If there was a point deduction, -1, whatever the case is, that's how you do it. That round should have been scored 9-8 in favor of Beltran if you thought he won that round. So unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you have 2 knockdowns, they offset each other and you go back to Teddy's system where you just say 10-9. I don't know. But I found it I was like, oh, yeah, Teddy's scorecard. Yuck, 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 yuck.
As a young boy, all Billy C. dreamed about was one day having his own catchphrase.
And we're back. And we're back.
One boy, one dream, one day. Everyone will say.
And we're back. 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 And we're back.
Catchphrase coming soon to a theater near you.
Broadcasting in all corners of the globe, on the web and radio.
He would scoff at a stretch of that man, I would think.
You're listening to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. from upstate New York in the good old US of A.
Boxing is here to stay because we are here to stay.
The best 2 hours of boxing talk on the airwaves.
Hey, fight fans, check out KOFantasyBoxing.com. KO Fantasy Boxing is boxing's only trademarked fantasy game. Check it out, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Select your own gym, your own fighters, track them through a season that can last from 3 months to a year, depending upon which league you join. You got to check this out, man. www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Join it today. Again, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. And tell them Billy C. sent ya.
Now back to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C., the only radio host man enough to take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on there. Jeremy, man, I need you to take this one, all right?
Wait, what? No way. I can't do this.
Need I remind you I'm Billy C., damn it? Now put on that mustache and get in there.
Hey, look at me. I'm Billy C. Crap.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. It's Talkin' Boxing with Billy C.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C. show. And you're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. Glad you could join us. All the Fight Now listeners and viewers just joining us right now like they do every day, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And speaking of Fight Now, we got a lot of stuff going on Fight Now, including our post-weigh-in show that's going on tonight beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So tune in to Fight Now TV. And for all the other information about the scheduling, check it out, www.fightnow.com. And speaking of now, joining me all the way, I don't know, man. Now that I realize it, especially after midnight, maybe this guy's smoking some weed or something now that it's legal in his state. What's going on, Marty Mulcahey?
It's been passed, but it's not legal. I am keeping up on the progress in the Senate, though.
Oh, good. Keep me posted. I'm thinking of moving out there to Washington, man. You know.
Hi, John Denver had it right all those years ago.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was legal. I thought midnight it kicked in. I thought it was legal. I saw in the paper that they were having like some smoke fests or something.
Well, they have that no matter what. I mean, I think kind of like Burning Man out in California, where like for a week, everything just gets, forgotten. There are no rules.
That sounds good. Listen, all I know is this: once the state starts raking in the money from the taxes and stuff, it's going to be legal everywhere. And in terms of the money, I mean, obviously this has nothing to do with boxing. In terms of the money, the amount of money that they're going to be able to make, and you watch what's going to happen. And we just lost Marty. He's got to call us back here. But we're talking about the marijuana law. What's going to happen, in my opinion anyway, is that these guys are going to make so much money. The state's going to make so much money that all the states are going to follow suit. That's number one. But number two, it's going to become very hard for these guys to try and sell it illegally. Once the state and the feds start making all their money, Marty, they're going to be like, oh, really? You might as well, if it gets put under the tobacco and firearms thing, you're better off with a trunk full of cocaine than you are with, we're losing Marty left and right here. The tobacco and firearms are extremely strict. You can't get caught with a pack of unstamped cigarettes. And I know in the state of New York, but because it's a federal thing, and that was one of the things. Some places can sell cigarettes really cheap. They're not subject to the taxes and stuff. But anyway, let's forget about all of this. We keep dropping. Marty's joint keeps going out.
Maybe the guy who installed your phone is from Colorado.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, I want you to clarify something for me. The fights last night. I was just talking before we got you on. The Teddy Atlas scoring system. In that first round, 2 knockdowns. I would have scored that round 9-8 in favor of Beltran if he gets the round. How do you score it?
It is so hard because how do you qualify which knockdown was harder? Now, I think Kim was rocked harder than Beltran, and that's the reason I would have gone 9-8. But yeah, that's one of those rounds where it is so exciting, I can justify almost any kind of scoring.
Yeah, but I mean, Teddy scored at 10-9. He says I'm going to score at 10-9. So basically, he didn't give any credit to Kim. Now I understand that he felt that Beltran won the round, but aren't you supposed to score the 10-point must system 10-9 for the winner of the round? Now you deduct the points if there's a knockdown, if there's a point deduction. Doesn't it come after you decipher who won the round?
Yeah, I mean, the rule is within the statement, 10-round must.
Right.
No, 10-round must. Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah, so logic tells me it should be scored 10-9 yet.
Yeah. Or no, because you got to give credit for Kim for scoring the knockdown. So he gets a point somewhere. So it can't, Beltran, even if he wins the round, can't end up with 10. In a sense, Teddy Atlas is not giving credit for the knockdown.
Here we go into the wordplay. Yeah, I can see that, yes, but the end result is Beltran should have had 1 point up by the end of the round, and at the end of the round he was 1 point up on everybody's scorecard, and that's where he should have been at. So while the directions that you get there is the same way, everybody gets to the same thing. Beltran up by 1 point after the first round.
True. I don't know. I guess maybe.
It's a matter of semantics.
I guess you could look at it as they cancel each other out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I put foot in mouth. But anyway, hey, let's talk about 2 fights from last week before we talk about the full slate this week. Tyson Fury against Kevin Johnson. I saw some improvement with Tyson Fury. I know the fans over in Ireland weren't happy. They wanted to see a knockout. But I saw a lot of improvement, number 1 with his jab, number 2 with his physical condition. And you got to keep in mind that he was there with a gutless pig in the round. I mean, Kevin Johnson just doesn't want to fight despite his mouth. What's your thoughts on the fight and Tyson Fury?
Yeah, Johnson uses his feet to get out of fights instead of into fights, and he's good at it. Let's put it that way. Fury, you're right. One thing is conditioning has not been early in his career. Conditioning, you could be called into question. That is gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore. What I liked about this fight is the way he controlled it. He controlled every portion of this fight. Distance. When he wanted to punch and go on offense, he went on offense. When he wanted to try something new on defense, stay a little bit at a distance, work his jab, go to the body a little bit, he did that. He controlled every single portion of that fight. And Kevin Johnson is not a fun guy to watch, but he's a good learning experience. And the guy went rounds with Vitaly Klitschko. He's been in there against the best. His only losses was the Vitaly Klitschko and the prizefight attorney. So in a sense, he was undefeated. So it's a really good win for Tyson Fury, much better than David Price's. And Tyson Fury, he's going to sneak up on some people because he is so big, you expect him to be oafish, but he's not. He's really athletic, and I think when he gets inside that ring, opponents will expect him to be slow, easy to hit, or in for a big surprise. So it's one of those things where maybe it's better for Tyson Fury that he's not looking so impressive. People are not going to avoid him. And right now, I think he's a legitimate top 10 heavyweight.
Yeah, I agree. He's moved up on our list. We didn't get it to the website yet, but he was at number 10, and he's moved up a little bit. I'd like to see. I know we boxing purists like you, yourself, and me. We like to see these guys fight each other. A good matchup would be him against that Kubrat Pulev. Would be good, but it looks like he's going to get a shot at Klitschko. It might be too soon, but I was impressed with him as well. Of course, the main fight of last week was Miguel Cotto and Austin Trout. I'm shocked at first of all, I was wrong. I picked Cotto in that one. But I think Cotto's lost he's still exciting. He still comes in shape. He still delivers his punches, but he's not throwing combinations anymore, Marty. He's throwing one or two punches. He seems like he's gotten a little wild. And I don't think Austin Trout's getting any credit for doing what he did, and the fact that Saul Alvarez is calling shots all of a sudden, and Schaefer comes out with a statement like, Trout has not proven himself yet. That's why we're going to go with Cotto. I just don't get it.
No, that makes no sense at all. Look, Austin Trout went down to Mexico and won twice. That's proving yourself right there. I'm sorry. That no other American fighter goes overseas and scores not excellent wins, but legitimate wins against solid opposition. No other American fighter has done that, and he gets extra credit for that for me. And he neutralized Cotto. I mean, look, it's easy to dismiss Cotto now after that performance, but remember, he just gave Floyd Mayweather some of the toughest rounds of his career before that, and he was pinpoint accurate. He in that fight, he didn't let his hands go as much, but it was by design, and I think it was by design against Trout as well, but he couldn't get away with it against Trout because Trout was just physically bigger than Cotto, absorbed those punches, and in many parts of the fights pushed Cotto backwards. It's one of those things where he made Cotto look old. Now, I don't think Cotto shot, but physically I don't think he was able to compete with Trout. And Canelo he's not as buff as Trout, but he is equally strong as Trout. He's a really physical fighter. And Schaefer and Canelo Alvarez saw that as well, that they can bully Cotto inside the ring with their power. And also his good chin. And they want that fight. They know that fight is going to sell because you got the Puerto Rico-Mexico rivalry. It's going to make better money on pay-per-view. And Austin Trout is in the same boat as Timothy Bradley. Just because you beat the man, I don't think that Timothy Bradley beat Pacquiao in that fight, but just because you beat the man doesn't mean you are the man. There's marketing involved, and I hate to say it, but African-American fighters just do not bring in the pay-per-view money anymore in America.
Well, what bothers me about Austin Trout not getting credit is he showed us, even specifically in the Cotto fight, that he's multidimensional. He was able to stand inside. He was able to fight inside. He was able to fight off the ropes. And when he used his jab, Cotto couldn't do anything. I think he showed that, that Schaefer can say all he wants about him not being proven. But I got news for you. Saul Alvarez, as much as I think he's technically sound and stuff, he's a one-dimensional fighter, Marty. He doesn't really display multi-facets of boxing. He's able to deliver his punches straight and everything. As long as you're standing in front of him, Cotto matches up better than Trout. Trout is too much.
If you're going to be one-dimensional, it better be a great dimension, and it is a great dimension. Look, Saul Alvarez, he's not even 22 yet. He's already had 42 fights. This is a guy who I don't think we're giving him the credit for the smarts that he's gained over those 42 fights. He's beaten some decent fighters, and he's done it impressive. At no point There was the one time that he was rocked against against Cotto's little brother. Other than that, I have seen no real weaknesses in him. He has excellent feet. He cuts off the ring well. He forces you to engage. And like I said, what other fighter do we know of that, under the age of 22 or 22 and has 42 fights? It's amazing what he's done.
Yeah, no, that aspect of, but I see a huge weakness with him. And the weakness is, if you look at the last few fights, I don't know if it's a habit he's developed. I don't know if he's always had it. I've just noticed it for his last 2, maybe 3 fights at the most. When he first of all, he stands right in front of his opponent. And as soon as he gets his opponent where he wants him, because you're right, he does cut the ring off well, his knees kind of lock, Marty. And he delivers his punches from his waist up. And he's not really getting his legs into it. And, a guy that's got mobility will just get out of his way, and then Alvarez has to track him down and then plant his feet again and then start to deliver punches.
Well, that's one of the reasons they don't want to fight Erislandy Lara. He has those legs. If you look at the junior middleweight division, it is packed with talent, but unfortunately that talent, it isn't all that exciting. We just mentioned Austin Trout, extremely talented. Exciting? No. Carlos Molina, tricky. Exciting? No. Martirosyan, fun to watch, kind of, but he has to be in against the right opponent. Saul Alvarez is exciting, and you have Floyd Mayweather, who nobody thinks is exciting, but brings in the money because of his personality. Outside of James Kirkland, that's a division in search of a action star, and Canelo Alvarez is the closest you have to that.
Yeah, but when do we start giving fighters credit for fighting better opponents? Okay, I mean, Austin Trout needs to get the recognition that he seeked out a guy like Cotto. Saul Alvarez, you can love him all you want, and a fighter will always look better when they're fighting lesser opposition. Now, I'm not knocking Josito Lopez because I love Josito Lopez, and Marty, we just lost you, so you got to call us back. I'm not knocking Josito Lopez at all for the Alvarez fight. But Alvarez is calculating his risks. Alvarez is picking smaller guys. He's picking older guys. Well, it kind of sounds like somebody else we know, I mean, when do you get credit? When do you get credit for fighting the better guys? We can always look better fighting the lesser opposition, and I think Saul is following that path, Marty.
Well, because he has all those Mexican fans that bring in the money. And boxing is largely based on marketing. How can you bring in the money? And he has brought in the money with his style and frankly, with his not looking Mexican and being Mexican.
No, I hear you. I know it's all about the money, and trust me, I get it. But it's a shame because
it is really, because Austin Trout, it's just like Tim Bradley. I mean, look at him. The man just has a...
Well, I guess we lost Marty again. I guess I got to put that new box in, huh? Yeah. Well, it is all about the money, and it's a shame because what the game has become is a money game. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what it's become, and it's a shame because what boxing used to be, now, Marty, we're gonna have to try and reset the whole damn thing for Marty. But boxing used to be, who's the best fighter? Who's the best fighter on the planet, so to speak. That's what boxing used to be based on. Now it's who's marketed the best, who sells the most tickets, all of that kind of stuff. So. It's a shame because we all agree that Austin Trout looked great against Miguel Cotto. He did. He did everything that you'd want him to do. He came in shape. He was a class act outside the ring. He came in. He showed us multifacets of the game. He was able to bang. He was able to fight off the ropes. He was able to fight close inside. He was able to set up his jab and keep Cotto at bay. I mean, he was doing it all. So and for that, he gets nothing. He gets comments from a guy. Let's face it. I mean, no disrespect to Richard Schaefer, but he's a banker. there's another example of what I say about promoters. Certain guys in the sport of boxing that aren't boxing people. Now, he's becoming a boxing person, but he makes a statement like that. Now, who listens to that? I'm not going to listen to that. But how many fans out there are going to buy into that BS? Trout's not good enough. He hasn't proved anything. Come on, give me a break. Hey, while we wait for Marty here, as this piece of crap system that I actually replaced, just have not physically switched the two. Everything's all installed, just been running behind here. I started talking about the fights last night. Beltran, in case you're tuning in late, Beltran beat Ji-Hoon Kim. He improves to 27-6 with 17 knockouts. Kim drops to 24-8. We watched Friday night fights on Thursday night. We got to listen to nonstop gibberish from Teddy Atlas. We got to see the pompous big fat pig and what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. I shouldn't even say that, but I won't give you his name, but his initials are Dan Raphael. And then we got to see some other fighters on there. We got to see his pro debut of the 212 Olympian Felix Verdejo. He won a 4-round unanimous decision over Leonardo Chavez in the super featherweight division to kick off his pro career. Jesse Magladeno improved. I love that kid, man. I had the pleasure of meeting him on out in Vegas recently, and he's a great kid. 13-0 now, 9 knockouts. Had a pretty entertaining fight against Jonathan Aureliano, who looked like he was going to put Jesse Magladeno on his butt, but the kid is in great shape and never went down. So, that was an exciting fight. Magladeno improves to 13-0 with 9 knockouts, and Aureliano drops to 13-2-1. So that was an exciting fight there, that's for sure. But speaking of exciting, we got Marty back. I'm sorry about that. Had to redo the whole system, damn it.
Shocking. I thought you were getting rid of it.
I did. I have a brand new, and I just haven't had a chance to physically replace it. It's all set. But anyway, before we lose you again, let's talk about the big fights this weekend. First and foremost, let's get the main one out of the way. Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez. It's the 4th time these two guys are meeting. How do you see this one going, Marty? Any different?
No. The thing is, I doubt anyone's going to be surprised that I think it's going to be another close encounter between two Hall of Fame bound guys. It comes down to effective aggression, and after 36 rounds, Pacquiao's been even more aggressive, and I repeat myself on the show all the time, but part of the fighter's job is to get the judge to watch him instead of his opponent. And because Pacquiao is always darting in and out, he has that energy about him, judges watch him more. And at the end of a close round, they cycle around back in their mind, and they think about, who did I see do more? And because they're watching Pacquiao more, it is Pacquiao that they judge it for. And Marquez, it's kind of like in the NFL where one guy slaps another, and the guy who retaliates gets the penalty. In boxing, it's the exact opposite. The guy who starts it first, because you're looking for it, gets the land. But the retaliation blow, the counter, sometimes does not get scored. And it's going to come down to really who the 3 judges are as much as the fight and who wants it more. I think Marquez wants it more, but that can also be a hindrance to him because he might go outside of his norms, try new things, try different things, when his countering strategy has been able to neutralize Pacquiao. So if Marquez tries new things in there, Pacquiao is still younger, still faster, and still got the bigger body as well, has a longer reach. So everything that Marquez does, if he goes outside of his range to try to do something more, Pacquiao is going to make him pay. And you put in all the intangibles, I think it's going to be a close victory again for Pacquiao. And Marquez is his Ali to Norton is just going to frustrate him. That at the end, Pacquiao is going to be the guy who comes out ahead in that rivalry, no matter how close. If you combine all the rounds, it's got to be almost 18-18. So it's really tough. It's a really even matchup, but in the end, Pacquiao is going to be considered historically better because he has more wins. 2 things concern me. One is Pacquiao's lack of killer instinct these days, and that's something Juan Manuel Marquez still possesses. You see it, in all the pre-fight hype. And the other thing is you make an interesting point about the judges. It kind of seems the judges are sour on Pacquiao. You think that's going to carry over in this fight? so, but then again, everybody knows he got ripped off against Tim Bradley, so they're going to say, well, it's a bit like, did he lose the Tim Bradley fight because of the bad scoring in the Marquez fight? Before that. So are the judges going to correct themselves again for the bad judging in the Bradley fight? It's really so hard to tell, and which is why you got 3 brand new judges in here. But it's just, for me, it comes down to aesthetics in this fight. It's what style you prefer. So what style do the 3 judges prefer? Is it the all action, come at you straight, Pacquiao, or is it the intelligent counterpunch in Marquez? Who do you prefer? And also, what do you see more of? Is Marquez, in the last fight that they had, Marquez was controlling more of the action with his countering. Pacquiao was coming forward, but it wasn't always effective. So it really does. It's coming down to the judges in this, because we're not going to see a knockout. No matter how much Marquez is bulking up and looking for the big punch and land a significant punch, unless there's a body shot. That's the one thing I think can be the changer here. If something gets done, it's a body shot, or somebody gets dirty. Marquez could get dirty in this fight and maybe go with a couple low blows. I mean, if you look at the Beltran-Kim last night, that low blow in the second round, I mean, that should have really put Beltran out of it. But if something like that happens, perhaps that could be a turning point.
Or if I was saying the other day, Manny Pacquiao is a different fighter when he gets cut. If somehow he could, Juan Manuel Marquez can get him to bleed, that changes the complexion of the fight as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was taking a cup.
I thought I lost you again. I'm like, oh man.
No, I was taking a sip of coffee, and yeah, you're right. That is true. Whenever Pacquiao sees his blood, it's almost like he hits the decelerator and tries to box too much to protect the cut, and that could be an instance. But it would have to come from a punch. These two know each other so well. I don't think it's going to be from a headbutt. One
fight that is extremely difficult, in my opinion, anyway, to pick a winner is the Miguel Vasquez against Mercito Gesta fight. I wasn't too high on Gesta. I thought he was like one of these guys that just had a built-up record and stuff. But, man, I got to tell you, especially after his last fight and what I've been, really looking into and trying to catch some of his clips and stuff, and this guy's the real deal. I don't know, man. I think this is a tough one. Who do you like in this one?
Vasquez, barely, but... Yeah, Jessa, I really like him as well. He can bang, and he advances, he comes at you. But I don't know if he has the feet to keep up with Vasquez, or actually the punching accuracy as well. Vasquez is a big boy in there. He used to be the main sparring partner for Antonio Margarito at welterweight. And he's dropped down to lightweight, and he's a really big lightweight. He can absorb some of Jessa's power and diffuse it. And he works consistently behind a long jab. And he just fought, 4 weeks ago, and he looked ordinary in that fight, but that fight's actually going to help him because his opponent in that fight, I forget his Mexican slugger, is a lot like Jester, a come-forward guy who likes to cut off the ring and make you fight. And Vasquez, if he's forced to fight, he will fight. But otherwise, he'll stay on the outside, pick you apart. He's really not, a Mexican boxer in the truest sense. And he also has a 3-inch height advantage. He has a reach advantage over Jester. And he has the experience to make those work for him. So I think he stays on the outside. He stretches those punches just long enough to connect. And it's going to be, I hate to say it, a boring fight because he can diffuse everything Jester wants to get done. And he's going to put his style on him and tie him up whenever Jester thinks he has an advantage and push him back to the outside and make Jester work his way back in. And if Jester gets frustrated, like I think he will, he's going to start going one punch at a time, and that's exactly what Vasquez wants, and he's going to start picking him off between those big shots.
Yeah, Vasquez looked pudgy his last fight, and you make a great point. He was used to being bigger. He's struggling to make weight, so I don't know. And the height and reach advantage is an issue, but there's something's got me going about Gesta.
I'm rooting for Jester because you want the world titles because they're the ones that are going to be on TV. You want those seats to be filled by exciting fighters. And look, I respect Vasquez. I really love the Vasquez story, but he's not an exciting fighter, and I want our sport to gain more fans. And Jester is a type that will bring more fans, whereas Vasquez, you appreciate what he does as a boxer, but he's not going to bring you new fans.
We got 15 fights with the challenge this week, which I obviously, you got to send your picks in. But Miguel Kessler against Brian McGee. McGee's quietly the champion here. It's an amazing fight to think that Kessler is still in the mix after all these years. And he's actually a lot younger than McGee. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, Kessler's he's trying to fight his way back to another big payday. Remember, he's the man that beat Frosch in a really exciting fight in Denmark. And if you can make that rematch happen, that'll be another big fight opportunity for him. And McGee is similarly exciting, but he's always lost against the top-level guys, and Kessler certainly is top-level. I don't think that trend changes this time here. Kessler's just too strong and too attack-minded at 175 pounds. I think McGee is more of a middleweight, super middleweight type of guy, and he's naturally smaller. So the first backward step that McGee takes is going to be his downfall, because he doesn't fight well backing up, and he lacks the overall speed and ability to box backing up. So accuracy, and combine that with Kessler's accuracy, and it's going to aid him in stopping McGee. I think between maybe 8 and 10 rounds, because it's going to be either a straight KO or swelling and cuts, because Kessler is just too big and too strong. McGee tries to stand his ground, and force the fight. That's what he likes to do. But in this scenario, you just can't handle with Kessler's physicality, I don't think.
In a fight that is going to showcase a young fighter, I think it's a lot tougher. I think it's going to be in a tougher fight than people think. James DeGale against Florencio Zuniga. Who do you like in that one?
DeGale, and he's smart enough, fast enough, and has enough of that amateur pedigree and experience against George Grove where he can win every round in this fight. He's just too fast for Zuniga. But Zuniga has the chin, and he showed before in other fights that it comes down to one punch. He's going to be looking for that one big punch, and it's another match where speed makes the big difference in predicting results here. And the speed favors DeGale in a big way. For Zuniga to use his advantage in power, he needs to get close. I don't think he can do that with his feet. DeGale is going to win this fight, staying on the outside, circling, pivoting, and every time Zuniga gets set to throw that big punch, you're going to see DeGale, pivot or duck or move. He can see all the blows coming, and he has the youthful reflexes to avoid him and counter. And that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be avoiding the punch and countering all night. Zuniga, like I said, I think he's tough enough to last the distance here, but it's going to be DeGale on his jab and defensive reflexes winning the fight. Like I said, he might lose 2 rounds near the opening, where Zuniga's aggression might get him around from the judges, but that's it. I think it's going to be pretty much a whitewash.
Hey, one last thing before we let you go. One of my favorite little guys, and I know you like him too, Giovanni Segura is getting back in the ring. He's taking on the other Donaire, Glenn Donaire.
I keep hearing that fight's going to happen in Mexico, but I haven't heard weight releases or even the city that was supposed to take care of it. I mean, I know this is announced, but I just haven't heard any of the build-up that I usually hear from before fights like that. I know it's taking place in Mexico, where we don't have the big press, English press presence, but I was hoping to hear that it's happening. If it is, I'm glad, because I really enjoyed the girl, but I'm not sure that fight's happening this weekend.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's still on flyweight, and also on that card is Sonny Boy Yarrow is fighting Juan Jose Montes for his WBF super flyweight belt. So yeah, it's happening. But I love Segura.
I love Segura. I'm glad to see him back in there. I was. Valoria is one of those guys, like I said, every time I pick him to win, he loses, and vice versa. And I picked him to lose to Segura. And ever since then, Segura's kind of disappeared, and it's a shame, because he is an up-and-coming, exciting young fighter. I never thought he was a pound-for-pound guy like people were predicting, because he just came to the sport too late. But excitement-wise, oh, yeah, he's right up there.
Well, he had retired, and then he came back. He retired after that fight. He was all pissed off, and then he came back, and he says he's going to make another run for a title, signed with another promoter. So
I was about to say, it might have been less of a retirement and more of a letting your contract expire.
Right. He found another promoter, and that was that. All right, Marty. Well, listen. Sorry we hung up on you, and I know you got to get back to cultivating
like my
that.
last girlfriend. I understand. It's all
right. No. Keep me posted on the laws out there. I read in the paper this morning that they have 1 year to figure out where everybody's going to get their stuff. You're allowed to have it, you're allowed to smoke it, but you can't sell it, or I don't know what.
Yeah, the amendment was titled "Treat marijuana like alcohol." So that's how they actually want to treat it. Is you got to get carded to get it and stuff like that. And truthfully, it is very easy to get medical marijuana, in the state of Colorado. So it's not going to make that big of a difference. It's just that you don't have to go through the process of claiming you have, poor vision or a bad foot or anything like that. So
right. I mean, to treat it like alcohol is what they should have been doing. You make people old enough. You police where the supply comes from. You tax the hell out of it. You make money, and that's the end of that. I mean, listen, my whole big argument on that stuff was simply this. If you compare it with alcohol, when was the last time you read someplace that someone went home and beat up their wife because they were high on pot?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's a relaxant is what it is. And if the government's going to get into other vices like gambling with the state-sponsored lotteries, then this is a vice you can get into and make money like they do off of look, lottery money goes to schools. So, hey, funnel 10% of that to like anti-dependency campaigns and be done with it already.
Yeah, when the money starts rolling in for Washington and Colorado, you'll see what will happen. And California's already making tons of money on the medical side of it, and they help that state. So you'll see the need for finances right now for the government on every level. They're going to close their eyes. So anyway, Marty, enjoy the weekend. Chock full of fights this weekend, and we look forward to you next time. All right?
Yes, sir. Plenty to talk about when we come back.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
That's Marty Mulcahey. We hung up on him a couple of times. I got to take a break. I'm a couple of minutes over. Sorry, guys, and we'll be right back.
Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. now has official merchandise available on TalkinBoxing.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and mugs. And yes, even undergarments. Talkin' Boxing apparel is the perfect gift for the boxing fan in your life. Log on to www.talkinboxing.com. That's TalkinBoxing.com and place your order today.
Join us here for 2 hours as Billy and the gang do what they do best.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out the ass. Rocky Marciano was good, but compared to Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano ain't.
Hit Joe Louis's ass.
Joe Louis was 75 years old when he fought.
Huh?
What? We're supposed to be talking boxing.
It's Talking Boxing with Billy C.
As Billy C. sits here in the multi-million-dollar Talkin' Boxing Studios, sipping a fine wine before you're even out of bed, you should be thinking, damn, I wish I had a mustache like his. It's the Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. show. He's Billy C., and you're not. Sucks to be you.
Now let's dig into our archives and hear a rare interview when Billy C. first became the champion of boxing talk radio. Hello, Billy C. As the new champ, can we ask you a few questions?
Why, certainly.
Okay, your fans would like to know how you and your corner have successfully walloped the competition.
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
Anything else?
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Did your success finally come when you made the show 5 days a week for 2 hours? What do you think?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Now, please tell the listeners what you've learned from making it this far.
Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
Great words of wisdom, Billy C. Keep up the great work as the undisputed People's Champion with your show, Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. Any last words to anyone who's listening?
This is your fault, you bonehead.
Billy C. here on behalf of everyone involved with the Talking Boxing with Billy C. radio show. Scotty Krause, Dave Wilcox, Marty Mulcahey, Emily Harney, Joe Santaliquido, Johnny Robbins, Alex Papali, Lee Groves, Amy Green, Kieran O'Neill, and Michael Parmalee, and myself, Bill Calogero, all want to wish you, all of our boxing fans and listeners, whether you're listening live or on a podcast or on a radio dial, we all want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And like we do every year, we put together what we call the Talking Boxing with Billy C. Christmas card. And here you go. This is this year's Talking Boxing with Billy C. Christmas card. Rocky the flat-nosed heavyweight had a really busted-up nose, and if you ever saw it, you would say it really looked gross. All of the other fighters used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rocky join in any fighting games. Then one poorly sold fight night eve, the fat promoter came and said, Rocky, with your granite chin, can you help us bring the fans in? Oh, how the boxing fans loved him. They all shouted with glee. Rocky, the flat-nosed heavyweight, went on to make history.
Yo, Adrian, where's that eggnog, man? Get me the eggnog. I just finished this little card, man. Get me that eggnog, Adrian. Come on, man. Come on.
Well, that was our Christmas card from 2 years ago. And I told you guys I was going to embarrass myself. That one was bad. Jeez, I didn't remember how bad that one was. You are listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show here on Fight Now, and we said we were going to do a couple of those. I got one other one that we did, but that one was bad. Oh man, that was embarrassing. The other embarrassing one is the 12 days of Christmas. I got to pick ones that I don't have to sing, that's for sure. I got a bunch of emails. People want us to do another one for this year. I did not do one last year. We did one for 2008, one for 2009. That one was 2010's. Yeah, maybe we'll do it. But back to relevant things. Andre Ward, we've been complaining about Andre Ward fighting Kelly Pavlik. At least I've been complaining. I didn't think it was much of a fight. I think Ward, and then again, every time we think that it's going to be a blowout fight, it goes in a completely opposite direction. But in this particular case, I can't see Pavlik being competitive with Ward. But nonetheless, the fight was scheduled for January 26th. It's canceled. Why? Well, Ward hurt himself again. Yeah, apparently he injured his right shoulder, and the fight has been rescheduled. Now, it's not made official, but it's almost official that the new date will be February 23rd. So we'll keep you posted on that one. I think if anything deters Andre Ward from really busting out the way he should and getting the recognition the way he should from all media, not just boxing media, I think it's going to be injury. He's going to be, prone to injury. If you remember, his hand kept him out of the ring for a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see. What happens there. But the Kelly Pavlik and Andre Ward fight postponed tentatively now from January 26th to February 23rd, according to Dan Goosen, who's Ward's promoter, and this is why he's fighting Kelly Pavlik, because Pavlik and Top Rank called all the shots because Goosen doesn't. But he had said that, listen, no problem. There's no tear. There's no break. There's no nothing. It's just strained, and he just needs some time. So hopefully Andre Ward will be back better than ever, and I'm sure he'll be fine against Kelly Pavlik. Marty and I were talking about Tyson Fury before, and the other guy over in England is David Price. Now, David Price, we talked earlier in the week about Tyson Fury saying that he's willing to fight David Price. He's sick of hearing David Price's BS coming out of his mouth. And the bottom line is he said, listen, let's make this fight happen. I'm willing to put my title shot on hold just to beat your ass. And, now the ball was thrown back in David Price's court. David Price says yesterday that this fight will happen. He says, by the way, I would have knocked out Kevin Johnson. This is what David Price says. So he says, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. It's what he told on an interview yesterday. He says, yes, there are a lot of political issues back and forth, but we are going to get this fight made. and we'll keep you posted on that. So, according to David Price, the fight with Fury is going to happen, and it's going to be sooner than later. Some other news I want to get out before I start breaking down the fights, because we got 15 of them. It was announced yesterday by Showtime. I mean, what a day. It's going to be a day to remember, and I got to remember that it's next week. That's the day that I really got to remember. On December 15th, out of the L.A. Sports Arena, that's something my man Dak should look into and see if our very own James Curl will. I guess it's too late now, but I thought maybe we could have had him at this fight. But anyway, they are going to be doing a show, and it's going to be on all kinds of networks that Showtime's involved with. First and foremost, Showtime Championship Boxing is going to feature the main event, which is Amir Khan and Molina. That's going to be on Showtime Championship Boxing. Then you got Showtime Extreme is also going to be on, and that's going to feature Showtime. That's right, Sean Showtime Porter going up against Julio the Kid Diaz. What a nice test that's going to be for Showtime. That's for sure. And I don't mean Showtime Network. I mean Porter, Sean Showtime. And then they have the other part of the show, which is going to be on CBS, and that's going to be airing Leo Santa Cruz. And I love a heading, Santa Cruz is coming to town. Yeah, Santa Cruz, as in Santa Claus, get it? But Leo Santa Cruz is taking on Alberto Garavia, and that's going to be on CBS. Then you're going to go to Extreme, then you're going to go to Showtime Championship Boxing. Great day of boxing all next week, so make sure you mark that one down. Another decent fight that was just scheduled on Show Box, the new generation, the later one, the one that's on later in the evening, is Demetrius Andrade against Freddie Hernandez. Freddie Hernandez is very well maybe the biggest test of Boo Boo Andrade's career. Demetrius Andrade is 18-0 right now with 13 knockouts, and the big knock on him is who's he fought. And according to his dual promoters, nobody wants to fight him. I don't know about that. Nobody wants to fight him for $50 that they're offering. But I'll tell you what, Freddie Hernandez might be a good test for Demetrius Andrade. So I'm looking forward to that one. That is scheduled for January 25th. So make sure you mark that one down as well. So we got some good stuff on the pike, that's for sure. And remember the card that we were talking about for that was going to benefit Hurricane Sandy and the damage it did in New York. Lou DiBella, his longtime series Broadway Boxing, is set up to all the proceeds are going to go to the relief project for Hurricane Sandy. And they got a great undercard. A lot of local fighters out of New York are going to be on that card. This particular card is going to be in New York at the Roseland Ballroom. Check out the undercard. You can see the whole thing up on BillyCBoxing.com under the latest boxing news section is where you'll find that. One last thing I wanted to mention, and it's going to kick me into starting to break down the fights here, is has to do with this weekend's fights. And Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez are fighting for the fourth time. Manny Pacquiao, they were doing some final press conferences and stuff. And Manny Pacquiao says that, he said that Marquez, doesn't stand and fight with him. And he said, and I quote, and they were asking him about, why, he hasn't seemed the same in his last several fights and blah, blah, blah. And Manny Pacquiao says, it just happens that in the last 3 fights, I've fought people who run around, who won't fight me toe-to-toe. He says, I expect more action. It's going to be a good fight like the last 3, and I'm expecting him to try to prove something and fight toe-to-toe with me. He says, I'm very excited for the fight on Saturday. I need to answer all the doubts of Marquez's fans, and this 4th fight will be the answer. My focus is more on aggressiveness, and if I have the chance to finish the fight, I will grab that opportunity, and I will finish that fight. What I think in fighters, and, we put a lot of emphasis and blame, and we should give the accolades when it's done well. But the corners and the fighter have to be able to adjust to different things during the fight. You could prepare for a camp, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long your camp is. And, you can study your opponent. You can watch film. You can, come up with a game plan and all of this. You can actually have 2 or 3 game plans, which you should have. But it's all based on speculation. You're assuming that your opponent is going to do this, and the other thing. When the bell rings and the fight starts, the real champions rise. And what I mean by that isn't just necessarily winning. It's the fighters that can make the adjustments. It's the corners that can assist the fighter in making the adjustments. And those generally are the winners. Manny Pacquiao has failed to make any adjustments in his last several fights. Now, whether he's not pulling the trigger as much, whether he's, become too caring for people and all that stuff, who knows? But the bottom line is to make a statement that says all these fighters are running for me, they don't want to stand toe-to-toe and fight like a man. That tells me that Manny doesn't have the ability to alter his style that makes him the best. If he fights at his best toe-to-toe, that's fine. But, people that have half a brain are going to realize that that's how he fights his best, and they're going to want to prevent him from fighting like that. So a good fighter, someone that some people actually suggest should be used, the word great should be used, he needs to make these adjustments. And to try and coax a fighter into, fighting toe-to-toe with you, come on. Hey, if whoever fights him, you think it's going to be toe-to-toe? Never in a million years. Never. Manny Pacquiao, that's a foolish statement from him, and, we'll see what happens. And I got news for you. If he stands toe-to-toe with Juan Manuel Marquez, with Manuel Marquez's ability to counterpunch him, maybe Manny's in trouble. I don't know. But we got 15 fights, and I'm going to start breaking them down right now. The first one is the female fight that's taking place tonight in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's right, Albuquerque. Holly Holm is taking on Diana Prazak. Diana Prazak is actually a super featherweight, and she's ranked number 2 in the world as a super featherweight. She's got 68 rounds as a professional with a 58% knockout ratio. She's never weighed more than 128 and 3/4 pounds. That's it. I'm sorry. The most she's ever weighed, she had one fight that was 138 and 1/4 pounds at the junior welterweight, below the junior welterweight limit. And that was early in her career. She since has come down. So normally she's fighting 10 pounds less, minimal, 10 pounds less than the junior welterweight division, which this fight is scheduled for. However, Holly Holm is legitimately a welterweight. She fights at 147. So, I mean, you're looking at 3 weight class difference here. I hate this fight. I think it's I think Fresquez Promotions really is trying to pull a fast one here. This fight does nothing for anyone except Diana Prazak should she win. She's got 11 wins, 7 coming by knockout. She's only got 1 loss, never been stopped. The big news about her is that she's trained by Lucia Rajka. Hopefully, maybe Rajka can dress up and say she's Prazak and get in the ring and beat up on Holly Holm. But, I don't see the best fight on Diana Prazak's resume, really, in my opinion, was her dominating win over Lindsay Garbott. That took place in 2011. She did have an impressive win in her last fight, which was in April of this year when she won a 10-round decision over Fatima Zakura. And that's about it. I mean, that's about all the accolades I can give her. Now, she steps in the ring with a woman that I know personally. She's one of the sweetest people you ever want to meet. She's recently married, in Holly Holm. She's a beautiful woman. You know who she is. She's 31 years old. She's ranked number 1 as a junior welterweight, which is actually wrong. She should be ranked as a welterweight, but nonetheless, she's got a record of 31 wins, 9 coming by knockout. 2 losses. She was stopped both times, and she's got 3 draws. She is a southpaw. She's 5'8", and she's got 265 rounds. as a pro with a 25% knockout ratio. Listen, she's been in with the best fighters that you think, anyway, that female boxing has to offer. She's bigger, she's stronger, she's never going to run out of gas. She's at her hometown. Come on, who do you think is going to win this fight? Holly Holm is going to win this. This is going to be easy. It's a terrible matchup, terrible. I'm very disappointed in Fresquez because Fresquez Promotions never does stuff like this, and this is terrible. Terrible. And I don't even care. You know, I even think the original fight was terrible with Mariam Lamare, who pulled out. You know, I think it was an awful matchup. Just goes to show you that, you know, hey, it's their baseball. They get to pitch. Holly Holm sells out that arena every time she goes there. So, hey, more power to them. I'm picking Holly Holm. The next fight that we're going to be doing is Ali Fanica against Zoli Morali. Listen, this fight is actually a rematch of a fantastic fight that these two guys were in their last outing. Both of them, their last outing took place over a year ago, November 19th of last year. Therefore, neither one are ranked because they've been out of the ring for more than a year. Ali Fanica is the WBF junior welterweight champion. He's got a record of 31 wins, 25 coming by knockout. He's got 3 losses, never been stopped. He's got 3 draws. He's 6'1", 72-inch reach, and he's got 195 rounds as a pro with a 68% knockout ratio. You know, you look at his last 4 fights, and you know, going back to 2009, Nate Campbell, when he fought for the world lightweight title, he lost a majority decision, 12 rounds. A lot of people think he won that fight. He comes back for a vacant title in the lightweight division several months later, and he fights Johan Guzman, and many people thought he won that fight, and he gets a majority draw in that one. You know, so his last 4 fights, he's got 1 win, 2 losses, and a draw. He did have a rematch with Guzman in 2010 and lost another close fight that many people believe he won. So, you know, 2 fights with Johan Guzman that many people think he won both. In his last fight, he fought Zolani Morali for the vacant World Boxing Federation's junior welterweight title, and he won a spirited, very close 12-round decision, which set up for the rematch. Now, Zoli Morali, he's 35 years old. He's got a record of 21 wins, 13 come by knockout. He's got 5 losses. Of those 5 losses, he was stopped 3 times. 179 rounds as a pro with a 50% knockout ratio. This guy's a former world champion. You know, he's had some tough opponents throughout his career. Activity has been his demise, just like Fanica. Who's going to win this fight? I'm picking Ali Fanica. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be an entertaining one, and I'm picking Fanica in this one. The next fight I'm going to pick was actually one that we were supposed to be out there doing the broadcast for, but you know, I'll just say this: it didn't work out. But Nicholas Walters and Dallas Prescott, they're fighting for the vacant WBA World Featherweight title. If you recall, Celestino Caballero was supposed to fight Nicholas Walters, who's the number 1 contender. He did not want to fight him. He backed out. He gave up his title because the purse bid made like $1.50, and he said forget about it. And therefore, the WBA is making Walters and Prescott fight for the vacated title by Celestino Caballero. Dallas Prescott's got a record of, yes, he is the brother of Brendan Prescott. He's from Colombia. He's got a record of 26 wins, 19 come by knockout, 1 loss, never been stopped. He's 26 years old. He's got 111 rounds as a pro with a 63% knockout ratio. You know, as a featherweight, he's ranked by the computer at 145th. He's the 145th ranked featherweight in the world. You wonder why? Well, just look at his resume. Try and find somebody on there that you know. Very built-up record, and you know, he steps in with Nicholas Walters. Now, Nicholas Walters, he's 26 years old. Jamaica loves him. He's from Jamaica. They call him the Axeman. This is a guy that is changing history in the country of Jamaica. He's not that old. Like I said, he's 26 years old. He's undefeated, 21-0 with 17 knockouts. He's only had 93 rounds as a professional with an 81% knockout ratio. He, too, has met some limited opposition, although some of them were experienced and known guys, like Irving Berry is a known guy. He fought him in 2011. You know, he's ranked number 21 in the world at featherweight. Listen, I think this kid is going to bust onto the scene in this fight. I think this is going to be a signature fight up to to date. Anyway, I mean, based on his young career, I don't think he's going to have a problem. He's going to be fighting at home, and I think he's going to become the new WBA World Featherweight Champion. I'm picking Nicholas Walters to win at home against Dallas Prescott. The next fight that we're going to pick is one of my favorite fighters. Giovanni Segura is going up against Glenn Donaire. Glenn Donaire, the brother of the Nonito Donaire, who's a former world title challenger. He's got a record of 19 wins, 10 of them coming by knockout. He's got 5 losses, only stopped once. He's got a draw. He's 32 years old already. That's something that kind of surprised me. The computer ranks him at number 92 out of flyweights, which isn't that great because there's not that many flyweights. He's 5'3". He's got 160 rounds as a pro, and he's got a 40% knockout ratio. He steps in with one of the most exciting little guys you ever want to see. I love this guy, and he's only 30, and I thought he was older. He's a former world junior flyweight champion, and he challenged for the flyweight title in his last fight against Brian Valora, and came up short, was stopped in the 8th round. It was his only stoppage of his career. He's got a record of 28 wins, 24 coming by knockout. He's got 2 losses and a draw. He's ranked number 6 by the computer in the flyweight division, 69-inch reach, 5'4", 127 rounds as a pro with a 77% knockout ratio. This guy was in many exciting fights. If you ever want to see a couple of good ones, go look at the replay, the Cesar Canchilla. He fought 2 against him. Great fights. I love this guy. I'm picking him to come back in style and win big over Glenn Donaire, and that's happening tomorrow night. So I'm picking Giovanni Segura. Hold that thought. We're going to take a short break. When I come back, I'll finish up with the rest of our big schedule for the Billy C. Challenge.
Talking boxing with Billy C. Every week, 2 hours of the best boxing talk on the radio.
I have a bunch of questions, Donnell, right? If you feel like you want to, you can answer for JD first. Why will you win? JD Chapman, why will you win?
Baby Holmes will get sick and get hit by a train that day on the way to the fight, or he might have diarrhea, he might have the flu, he might throw up. One of his eyeballs might fall out that day, and I might get lucky.
Talking Boxing
with Billy C. If you want your voice heard on Talking Boxing with Billy C., then call our hotline at 845-228-8710. Leave a voicemail, or you could just tell Billy C. that you like his mustache.
Can I ask you your opinion about this idea?
I'm just trying to give you the encouragement.
Listen, all I need from you is to make sure you don't hang up on people.
And if we like your call, we'll play it back on the air.
You have the knowledge and wisdom of boxing because of what you do and how well you do it.
Leave your name, hometown, and what you think of the show. 845-228-8710. We want to hear you. Talking Boxing with Billy C. Every week, 2 hours of the best boxing talk on the radio.
Mike Tyson looked like he put on some pounds. He was fat. He went into McDonald's and he just said to them, hey, give me 6 of everything on the menu. He put on 2 watches and covered 2 time zones. I'm talking fat here. Got on a scale the other day and it said, come on, one of you guys got to get off. Last thing I heard is that he jumped into the ocean and he left a ring around the continent. He's fat.
Boxing
with Billy C.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C. show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. And if you don't have Fight Now on your sports channel lineup, you're missing a great weekend of boxing. and extended coverage on the Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez fourth encounter. Call your local television provider right now and tell them that you want the Fight Now Channel 8 at your Sports Channel lineup. And then you tune in tonight because we're going to be doing a post-weigh-in show. That's right, from 6:30 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You tune it in right here on Fight Now TV and check out our post weigh-in show. We are going to be doing. We're going to be getting some inside stuff. I got Tony Treem that's going to be at the weigh-in. He's going to tell us how the guys looked and if anything took place. He also was at camps this past week. He's going to give us his full report on how Manny Pacquiao's looked. Now, he did give me a heads up already, telling me that Juan Manuel Marquez's camp was kind of closed. He's been very serious and closed to the public and to the media. But Manny Pacquiao, like his normal routine, very out there and public friendly and all that stuff. So Tony wasn't too confident in Manny Pacquiao when we spoke yesterday. So make sure you tune in today at 6:30 on that. All the information about the Fight Now channel can be found at their website, www.fightnow.com. I'm breaking down the fights. We got 15 fights on our Billy C Challenge today, so we got to get right into it. The next one I'm picking is the Sonny Boy Yarrow against Juan Jose Montes fight. Now, Juan Jose Montes is the WBF World Super Flyweight Champion, and he's got a record of 23 wins, 14 coming by knockout. He's got 2 losses, stopped both times, and he's got 1 draw. Now, he's ranked by the computer in the Super Flyweight division at number 11. He's only 23 years old. He's got 143 rounds as a pro with a 54% knockout ratio. If you thought that this guy fought recently, you're right, because he fought in September and had a pretty good showing against Oscar Ibarra, who he had fought for the vacant WBF title. Now, in between the 2 fights with Oscar Ibarra, he fought Victor Zaletta, who we just recently saw. He's a tough guy and had a very close, exciting fight with him that ended up in a draw. Now, Juan Jose Montes steps in with a guy that for the longest time was considered a gatekeeper, a journeyman, the guy that you got to beat to get to the next level. That was all until he became the world flyweight champion when he beat Pang Saklak Wanjongkam. And I'm talking about Sonny Boy Yarrow. Now, he's from the Philippines, fights like a Filipino, and has a pride of a Filipino. Former world champion, 34 wins, 24 coming by knockout. He's got 11 losses, stopped 7 times. He's got 5 draws. The computer ranks him at number 3 in the flyweight division. 30 years old, 5'2.5", 65-inch reach, 262 rounds of pro with a 48% knockout ratio. Lots more experience than Juan Jose Montes, who doesn't even have 150 rounds. So who am I picking in this fight? I like the kid, man. I like Juan Jose Montes. I think the WBF has become a legitimate sanctioning body, and I think the champions are ready to step up and prove it. And Juan Jose Montes is going to do it Saturday night. I'm picking Montes in a bit of an upset over Sonny Boy Yarrow. The next fight we're going to pick is happening over in Denmark. Brian McGee against Mikkel Kessler. Now, Brian McGee is actually the WBA super middleweight champ. Yeah, I thought he was the interim champ, but here's a guy that has had that belt and made not 1 but 2 defenses of it. So therefore, I think they've elevated him, which who the hell knows with all these belts and the BS that goes with it. Since his 10th round knockout loss at the hands of Lucien Boutte in 2011, he followed that up 4 months later with a win for the interim title against Jamie Barbosa, won a 12-round decision against him, and then had a successful defense by knocking out Rudy Markenhusen in February of this year. He's got a record of 36 wins, 25 coming by knockout. He's got 4 losses, two times he was stopped. He's ranked number 16 by the computer. He's 6 foot tall, 74-inch reach, 269 rounds of pro with a 61% knockout ratio. He's the current WBA super middleweight champ. Oh, by the way, he's 37. That shocked me. I thought he was much younger than that. I didn't realize he was 37 years old. The 37-year-old Brian McGee steps in the ring with Mikkel Kessler. Mikkel Kessler, we all know, he's former world champion, super middleweight. He's also, I guess, the current WBC silver light heavyweight champion, because that's what he won, apparently, in his last fight in May of this past year when he knocked out Alan Green in the 4th round. He's got a record of 45 wins, 34 coming by knockout. He's got 2 losses, never been stopped. The computer ranks him at number 5 in the super middleweight division. He's been around for a long time, but did you know that he's much younger than McGee? He's 33 years old, 6'1", 74-inch reach, 255 rounds as a pro, with a 72% knockout ratio. I don't give Kessler the credit that everyone else does, although I think that he's an extremely good fighter, one of the top. I agree with the computer ranking, one of the top 5 in the super middleweight division. I don't think he beat Carl Froch. I thought Carl Froch beat him. I thought that was a bad decision, and they wouldn't let him get knocked out against Andre Ward. They stopped it on that cut. The bottom line, he's going to win. He's going to win Saturday night. He's going to beat Brian McGee. He's going to be the champ again, and he'll probably set up another fight with Carl Froch. I'm picking Miguel Kessler in that one. The next one is on Fox Deportes, and that fight is also on Saturday. Ricardo Williams Jr. is taking on Luis Ramos Jr. Ricardo Williams, he's got 20 wins, 3 losses. Was stopped 1 time of those 3 losses, and of his 20 wins, he's got 10 knockouts. Computer ranks him at 103 in the welterweight division. He's 31 years old, 131 rounds as a pro, with a 42% knockout ratio. He's got a 68-inch reach, and he's 5'8". Who's he fought? I don't know. A couple of people you might have heard of. He's got a win over Anthony Lenk in his last fight, which is a guy that you've heard his name. You probably don't remember much about him, but you've heard it. He does have a fight against Carson Jones that he came up short in. He was stopped in the 4th round. That was in 2011, which he fought 4 times. Now he steps in the ring with Luis Ramos Jr. Here's the thing about this fight. Ricardo Williams is a welterweight. And, this fight is being contested at welterweight. And Luis Ramos Jr., he's ranked at lightweight because the most he's ever weighed was 139 1/2 pounds. That was his last fight against Noel Bolanos. Every other fight was in the lightweight division. He's moving up, but he's a bigger guy. He's fighting at welterweight. He's undefeated, 23-0, 10 knockouts. Like I said, he's ranked number 18 as a lightweight. He's 5'8", 66.5-inch reach, 121 rounds as a pro with a 43% knockout ratio. His fight and win over Noel Bolanos was a good one. He stopped him in 8. Prior to that, he's got 2 wins over very decent opposition. Daniel Ata was a 10-round unanimous decision, and he also beat in January Raimundo Beltran, the guy we just saw beat Ji-Hoon Kim last night. He beat Beltran in a 10-round decision. Again, that was in a lightweight division. This is a welterweight fight. Normally, I don't like when fighters are moving up in weight, fighting a legitimate guy. But in this particular case, I think Luis Ramos Jr. Handles the weight okay. He's definitely the better of the 2 fighters. We'll have to see if the jump in weight was too much, but nonetheless, I'm picking Luis Ramos Jr. In that one. The next fight I'm going to go with is the Jose Nueves against Glenn Porras fight. Jose Nueves, he's actually moving down in weight. He's got a record of 20 wins, 9 coming by knockout, 2 losses, stopped 1 of those 2 times. He's also has 3 draws. In the super bantamweight division, he's ranked at number 94. He's 32 years old. He's a southpaw. He's 5'6", got 140 rounds as a pro. Now he steps in the ring with Glenn Porras. Glenn Porras is a bantamweight. He is ranked at number 46 in the bantamweight by the computer. He's got a record of 28 wins, 17 come by knockout, and 3 losses. He, too, was only stopped 1 time. A little younger, 27 years old, another southpaw. He's 5'5", 65-inch reach, and he's got a record of he's got 161 rounds with a 55% knockout ratio. Listen, this one's a tough one because both of these guys have similar records against very limited opposition. The issue here is Jose Nueves is a bigger fighter, and that's why I'm going with him. I'm picking Jose Nueves over Glenn Porras in that one. The next one is Jesse Vargas, who is going up against Vito Gasparian. And, Gasparian is nothing much, man. He's 14 wins, 8 of them coming by knockout. He's got 2 losses, never been stopped. He's got 5 draws. He's ranked at junior middleweight. He's a bigger fighter at 229 pounds, 80 rounds a pro. That's it, with 38% knockout ratio. 26 years old. The only they have a similar opponent in Aaron Martinez, which is a decent fighter, but nobody jumps out at me with Vito Gasparian in his record. Now, when you look at Jesse Vargas was a blue chip, is still considered a blue chip prospect. He's 23 years old. In the welterweight division, he's ranked at number 15. He's undefeated at 20-0 with 9 knockouts, 102 rounds as a pro with a 45% knockout ratio. His last fight was against the same guy I just mentioned, Aaron Martinez. But he also have wins over Stevie Forbes and Leonardo Tyner, which is big names. He's also has a very close split decision win over Josito Lopez, which I think he lost that fight. And he's also fought experienced guys like Walter Estrada and Vivian Harris and Christian Favela. Listen, there's no comparison. To me, this is a layup fight for Jesse Vargas, a layup fight. And that's why I'm picking Jesse Vargas against Vito Gasparian. The next fight I'm picking is over on the other side of the pond, James DeGally against Florencio Zuniga. Florencio Zuniga is a pretty tough guy. He's a former IBO world champion. He's got a record of 25 wins, 22 coming by knockout. He's got 6 losses, stopped 2 times of the 6. He's ranked number 29 in the super middleweight division, 35 years old. He's 5'10" with a 70-inch reach and 168 rounds with a 69% knockout ratio. He's fought some tough guys. He's fought some name guys, Lucien Boutte, Thomas Uzunthuzan, Tavorius Cloud, all losses. But he's fought these tough guys. He's got some wins against the other guys that were at the end of their careers, guys like Antoine Eccles, and he's also beat up on Diego Castillo when in 2008 stopped him. But that's not going to help him much against James DeGally. James DeGally is a young kid out of the UK. He's 26 years old, ranked number 13 in the world in the super middleweight division. He's currently, or I think he is, he may have had to give it up. He was currently the European super middleweight champion. He's got a record of 13 wins, 9 coming by knockout. He's got 1 loss, which is a controversial loss against Georgie Groves, which took place in May of last year. He's got 75 rounds as a pro with a 64% knockout ratio. He's a little over 6 foot tall, 6 foot and 1/2 inch. What's on the line for this fight is the WBC's BS Silver title. One thing bothers me about James DeGally. He's already scheduled to fight another fight in January against Muhammad Ali Nadai. I can't stand when fighters are in a big fight. Now, Florencio Zuniga, yes, he's 35 years old, but, it's not a fighter you want to look past. And I hope DeGally does not do that and concentrates on getting that win before he looks to his next fight. All that said, I'm picking James DeGally in this one. I think he's going to come out, and I think he's going to look good. The next fight is probably my personal favorite fight of the weekend. Bowie Tutupu is going to be fighting Bye-Bye Jennings. That's right, Bryant Jennings. Tutupu is 22 wins, 16 coming by knockout with 2 losses, both stops. He's ranked number 73 as a heavyweight in the world. He's 30 years old, 75.5-inch reach, 6 foot 2.5 inches tall, 85 rounds as a pro with a 67% knockout ratio. He's coming off an 8th round knockout loss to Malik Scott for his only fight so far this year. He fought 3 times last year, won them all, one against a pretty tough guy in Donnell Holmes. He also beat Manuel Cosada, who was not a bad fighter either. Bowie Tutupu is a great fight and a great test for Bye-Bye Jennings. Brian Jennings, I love this kid. He's number 43, ranked number 43 in the world by the computer. He's 28 years old, 84-inch reach, 6'2", 69 rounds as a pro with a 47% knockout ratio, undefeated, 15-0 with 7 knockouts. Who's he beaten? Well, who hasn't he beaten since, this year has been an extremely busy year. Check it out. Going all the way back to January, he steps in and he fights another undefeated guy out of Philly, Maurice Bryan, wins a 10-round decision. it almost seemed like he wasn't supposed to win, and they tried to get him knocked off because then they set him up with Sergey Lukajevic. He knocks out Lukajevic in 9. Then Stevie Collins, who was 25-1, all most of his fights by knockouts, he beats him in a 10-round decision. And then former top 10 contender Chris Koval in his last fight in September knocks him out in 1 round. I mean, Bryant Jennings has proved to me that he's the real deal, and I think he's going to continue to prove it by beating Bowie Tutupu. I'm picking Bye-Bye Jennings. The next fight I'm picking is, we start with the main events here on the big card. Javier Fortuna is going up against Dax Khan's best friend in Patrick Hyland. Patrick Hyland is a former, I think he's a current, but then again, he might be former, I don't know, WBF featherweight champion. He's ranked number 47 in the world as a featherweight. He's undefeated, 27-0 with 12 knockouts. He's also Snooki's boy. That's right, Snooki's a co-promoter for him. This is for the vacant interim WBA World Featherweight. That cracks me up. 5'8", 29 years old, 142 rounds, a pro with a 44% knockout ratio. Who's he fought? I don't know. He fought one known guy in Frankie Archuleta, but Archuleta has long seen his best days. Nobody of major note. He steps in with Javier Fortuna, who's only 23 years old. He's ranked number 10 in the world at featherweight. He, too, is undefeated, 20-0 with 15 knockouts. He's a southpaw, 64 rounds with a 71% knockout ratio. Who's he beat? Well, his biggest fight, his biggest win was his last fight against Cristobal Cruz. That impressed me. I love Cristobal Cruz, and Fortuna knocked him out in 2. He's also fought Yondale Evans, stopped him in 1. Yondale was 16-0 when he fought him, and he's got a win over Miguel Roman, which is impressive. What does that all mean? I'm picking Javier Fortuna to upset Snooki and Patrick Hyland. The next fight that we're looking at is Miguel Vasquez against Mercito Gesta. Miguel Vasquez, he's the IBF lightweight champ. He's got a record of 32 wins, 13 come by knockout, 3 losses, never has been stopped. He's ranked number 2 in the world by the computer at lightweight. He's 25 years old, 5'10", 72-inch reach, 227 rounds as a pro. 25 years old, he's already got 227 rounds under his belt as a pro with a 34% knockout ratio. His last fight, a tough one against Marvin Quintero. That took place in October. He also, in this year alone, he's got unanimous decision wins over Daniel Ata and Amith Diaz, and that's who he won the title from. Actually, he won the title from Jin-Hoon Kim and had a couple of successful title defenses. Excuse me. Miguel Vasquez kind of came down in weight. You heard a little history about him and his sparring partner and all of that. He steps in the ring with Mercito Gesta. This was a guy I totally underestimated. He's 25 years old. He's ranked number 11 in the world at lightweight by the computer. 5'7", 68-inch reach, 142 rounds as a pro with a 52% knockout ratio. He's undefeated, 26 wins, 14 come by knockout. He doesn't have any losses, and he's got 1 draw that came early in his career against a grizzly veteran, Ray Lagayas, who had a record of 58 wins, 28 losses, and 2 draws. He fought in the Philippines. Has fought in the U.S. A lot, despite being from the Philippines. He lives now in San Diego. So, I'm going with the underdog. I think Mercito Gesta is going to come in here and take it to Miguel Vasquez. I'm picking an underdog here. I just... every time I go against Gesta, I lose. So I'm picking him this time. So I'm picking Gesta. The next fight is Yuriorkis Gamboa against Michael Farinas. Michael Farinas is ranked number 29 in the world as a super featherweight. He's 34 wins, 26 knockouts, 3 stops, 3 losses, never been stopped. He's got 4 draws. He's only 28 years old. He's a southpaw, 5'6", 192 rounds. As a pro with a 62% knockout ratio. This is a tough guy, former world title challenger. Just challenged for the super featherweight title against Takashiki Yukamaya, who was undefeated, got a technical draw after 3 rounds due to a cut in Japan. He steps in with one of my favorite fighters of today, Yuriorkis Gamboa. I love the fact that Gamboa is with 50 Cent right now. Gamboa is 30 years he's 31, I believe. Might even be 32. He's 65-inch reach. He's 5'5.5", He's not ranked by the computer because he hasn't fought in over a year. He's got 97 rounds as a pro, but he's got hundreds of amateur fights with a 76% knockout ratio. This fight is for the interim WBA super featherweight title. He's a former world featherweight champion. It's his first fight as a super featherweight. Can't wait for him to come back. I'm picking Yuriorkis Gamboa, although I give him a lot of credit for taking this fight against a guy that's never been stopped, and he's moving up in weight. I think it's going to be a little more competitive than people think, but I'm still picking Gamboa. Finally, the main event of the evening on that card, plus of the whole weekend, is Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel Marquez, I mean, listen, it's hard to even tell you guys anything about these two fighters that you don't already know, but I'll give it my best. Juan Manuel Marquez is a former world featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, and junior welterweight champion. He's been boxing since 1993, so if you count on your fingers, 19-year veteran. He's got a record of 54 wins, 39 coming by knockout. He's got 6 losses, has never been stopped. He's got 1 draw. As far as the junior welterweight's concerned, the computer ranks him at number 1. His is the biggest deficit, the biggest negative he's got is his age. He's 39 years old. He's 5'7". He's got a 69-inch reach, and he's got 456 rounds as a pro with a 64% knockout ratio. He's fought everybody that was anyone. His last loss came against Manny Pacquiao in November of 2011, and prior to that, his loss to Floyd Mayweather was well documented. I personally, by the way, Floyd Mayweather was way bigger than him. Not only, ordinarily big. It was also for that night. Remember, he paid Juan Manuel Marquez to not to go to the scale. But the bottom line is, I believe that Floyd could have stopped him that night. He owned Juan Manuel Marquez. But since that fight, with the exception of his matchup with Pacquiao, he's looked pretty good and pretty dominating over Juan Diaz, Casitas, Lycar Ramos, and in his last fight against Fenchenko. He steps in the ring for the 4th time against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, a lot of people think he's the top pound-for-pound fighter. We've moved him down. He's a former WBO. That's right. This fight is for the WBO Fighter of the Decade title. You thought you heard them all. You didn't until just now. Manny Pacquiao is a former world flyweight, super bantamweight, featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, junior welterweight, welterweight, and junior middleweight champion. 8 weight classes. He's ranked number 2 in the world as a welterweight. He's got a record of 54 wins, 38 coming by knockout, 4 losses, was stopped twice. Early in his career, he's got 2 draws. He's 33 years old, but he's been around for 17 years. He's a 17-year-old vet, a 17-year veteran in the sport. Man, 67-inch reach, 5'6.5", 365 rounds as a pro with a 63% knockout ratio. How's this fight going to go? Well, you know what? I don't think that Juan Manuel Marquez is going to stand right in front of him, but maybe he does. I'm picking Manny Pacquiao, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot riding on this fight for Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao doesn't just have to win this fight. He has got to dominate this fight. Not that it matters for our challenge, but I think not only is Manny Pacquiao going to win, I do think he's going to get his stoppage over Juan Manuel Marquez. I think Juan Manuel Marquez will get stopped for the first time. There may even be a 5th fight. Hey, who knows? I still think that it's a great farewell fight. Let me just say this. If Manny Pacquiao does not win this fight decisively, there's no shot at you-know-who, even though you-know-who doesn't want any part of Manny Pacquiao for various reasons, but I think one is because of Top Rank. So I'm picking Manny Pacquiao in this one. So no particular order. I'm picking Giovanni Segura over Glenn Donaire, Juan Jose Montes over Sonny Boyaro, Ali Funica over Zolani Morali, Nicholas Walters over Dallas Prescott, Holly Holm over Diana Prazak, Luis Ramos over Ricardo Williams, Miguel Kessler over Brian McGee, Bryant Jennings over Bowie Tutupu, Javier Fortuna over Patrick Hyland, Mercito Gesta over Miguel Vasquez, James DeGally over Fluencio Zuniga, Jose Nueves against Glenn Porras, Jesse Vargas over Vito Garaspian, Yuriorkis Gamboa over Michael Farinas, and Manny Pacquiao over Juan Manuel Marquez. That's my picks. and I'm sticking to them. So good luck with all your picks for everyone in the challenge.
Wake up. It's time for the It's Too Early for a Trivia Question.
Today's It's Too Early for a Trivia Question is being sponsored by Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn, New York. For all the information about Gleason's, check out our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click one of the Gleason's Gym banners. You can't miss it. Or you can call them, 718-797-2872. That's 718-797-2872. Tell them Billy C sent you. I want to also plug their new gym. They have an open house at Gleason's new gym that's basically a piece of the Mercedes Club. It's open house. You're free to go there on Sunday, December 9th, from 11 to 1. There's a free boxing class being offered from noon to 1, so check it out. It's located on 550 West 54th Street in New York City. You can go to themercedesclub.com for information. That's www.themercedesclub.com, or just go to Gleason's. Today's It's Too Early for a Trivia Question was given to us by our very own champion in trivia, Henry Haskup. No one got it right so far, so I'm going to ask it again. Who holds the longest knockout streaks in heavyweight championship defenses? There's actually two fighters. Name them. Who are they? Email me the correct answer, Billy at talkingboxing, TalkinBoxing.com. What two fighters have the longest knockout streaks in championship defenses? Email me the correct answer, Billy at talkingboxing, TalkinBoxing.com. And on the line is a title bout championship computer game worth $40, man. So good luck.
This day in boxing history.
And finally, this day in boxing history is being brought to us by Campanero and Tomkovich. Give them a call today, 845-221-4099. That's 845-221-4099. Let Campanero and Tomkovich knock out your legal problem. 845-221-4099. On this day, December 7th in 1963, Joey Gardella wins a 15-round decision over Dick Tiger to win the world middleweight title. It took place on this day, December 7th in 1963. Not in Vegas, not in New York City, in Atlantic City. That's right. A long time ago. Almost as long as I've been around. I'm actually older than that fight. Hey, man, don't forget to tune in to Fight Now tonight from 6:30 to 7 to catch our post-weigh-in show. And then again, immediately following the Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao fight Saturday night, we're going to be right here on Fight Now giving you the post-fight show. But now I got one more thing to say. Make sure you tune in on Monday morning, same bat time, same bat channel. Well, there's only one channel. It's the Fight Now channel. Call your local television provider and tell them you want the Fight Now channel added to your sports channel lineup. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and call for all the information about the channel. You can find it on our website, www.fightnow.com. Enjoy all the fights this weekend, man. Ciao, baby.